Good evening. Welcome to UNC Asheville for the first of 4 public forums which are being held to get citizen input with respect to the qualifications, experience, and characteristics of the next president of the University of North Carolina. We're happy to have you with us here today. I'm Scott Doherty. I'm with the University Systems Business and Technology Extension Service, the SBTDC. We have, through the years, done many public forums for businesses, for communities, and for community groups. So we're asked to facilitate the 4 public forums that are being done by the Board of Governors. The SBTDC staff is here and available if you have any questions. Be happy to answer them for you. Hope you signed in. Hope you got one of the cards that's a handout with some prompts to you to help you structure your comments during the course of today's event. I'd first like to start by recognizing our host today, UNC Asheville, and Mary Kay Grant, the Chancellor, and ask if you'd like to say welcome to your campus.
Thank you for coming this evening. I'm delighted that we're able to host this forum. These are important sessions to gather input, and I do appreciate the Board of Governors making the time to come out and gather this information. So I'm delighted that we can do this as coffee and water for anyone who would like some, and thank you all for coming to UNC Asheville. Thank you.
And thank you, Chancellor, and your staff for all your hard work. The efforts to gain citizen input are fairly diverse. We have these 4 public forums. We've had an online survey that's been available and actually has received a lot of responses. They will have opportunities for you to make additional comments. You can see where you can make text comments and where you can send email contributions as well. So tonight's event is designed to provide for input from as many people as we can accommodate in the time allotted for the program. So we want you to be thoughtful and concise in your input comments and recognize that there may be others who are behind you who wish to make comments. I might also note that this is being streamed live, so we'd ask if you have a comment, you come to the microphone and make your comment so it can be heard by people who may be viewing us through streamed presentation. We have a unique opportunity as citizens of North Carolina to make input to the Board of Governors, which is charged with responsibility for selecting the new president of the university. We hope you avail yourself of the opportunity this evening. I would like to recognize now the chair of the search committee, Joan McNeil, who's going to make a few introductory remarks. And then your facilitators for this evening will kind of set out the ground rules and process for your input. So, Joan.
Thank you very much, Scott, and good evening. It's good to see all of you here this evening. As Scott said to you, I am Joan McNeil, a member of the University of North Carolina Board of Governors, and I am truly honored to be chairing the 2015 presidential search process. This is a critically important undertaking for the university and for our entire state. As we seek out the UNC System's next president, our board is steadfastly committed to finding a proven leader with the experience, skills, and vision needed to build on UNC's long tradition of excellence and further its mission of teaching, research, and service to the state. Tonight, we are here to listen to you as you provide your thoughts about the qualities necessary for the success of the next leader of our system. The session is being streamed live online and viewed throughout the state, and each session will be archived online. Let me introduce the Board of Governors members who are also here tonight to listen to you this evening. Mr. John Fennebresque, our chair, and I see that Mr. Bissett has not made it yet, but when he does, you all probably already know him. Roger Aiken and Zach King. A summary of the feedback received this evening and at each of the 4 sessions will be provided to all members of the Leadership Statement Committee. I would also like to provide you with an overview of the Board of Governors and others I would like to provide you with an overview of the search process before we begin. Over the next several months, members of the Board of Governors and others representing our 17 campuses, trustees, chancellors, faculty, and staff, students, and alumni will participate in the important task on behalf of the university that we all love. Working through 3 committees, we will select a search firm, define the essential skills and characteristics we want to see in our next president, advertise for candidates, screen applicants, and conduct interviews, and ultimately present 1 or more finalists to the Board of Governors for consideration and election. Our goal is to elect a new president this fall so that he or she can take office in January. You are participating in the very first step, which will determine the leadership profile that we use to advertise the position and recruit qualified candidates. I also encourage you to email your suggestions throughout the process. We want to hear from you. This search process is about finding the next leader who will continue moving the UNC system forward and ensure that our public university and the state of North Carolina can reach their full potential. Thank you, and now I'd like to turn the session over to our facilitator.
Thank you, Joan, and good evening, everyone. My name's Brian Schulk, and I am with the University Systems Business and Technology Extension Service, the SBTDC, and it's a pleasure to be in Asheville with you tonight. It's also a privilege to have the opportunity to facilitate this session and have an opportunity to hear your comments and your input that will help the Board of Governors define the profile of the next president of the UNC system. Tonight, we're asking for your ideas regarding the next president, specifically what skills, professional experiences, personal characteristics, and philosophies that you would like to see in the next president, and which of these you think are essential for that person's success. And we'd like to hear those key points, and would like to ask that you think about that in forming your comments tonight. Specifically, what essential experiences should this person have? What essential skill sets should they be able to demonstrate? What characteristics should they possess, and what philosophies they hold? To help you organize your remarks, we have provided some pre-printed comment cards. They're available at the registration tables. And we have several ways for you to provide your input this evening. First, and most obvious, in a few minutes, we will invite you to come to the microphone and provide verbal comments. The format for the open comments period is very simple. Each speaker will have up to 3 minutes, and we ask that you focus your comments on those essential elements. Our timekeeper will signal when you have 30 seconds remaining and when time is up. We want to provide as many of you as possible an opportunity to speak and to share your ideas with us this evening. So in order to do that, we want to follow a few simple ground rules, and that'll help us manage the process tonight and help you get the most benefit from your time here this evening. So a few simple ground rules. First, all ideas are welcome. But we're not here to evaluate your ideas tonight, but just listen. This is not a Q&A session. We'd ask that you respect the speaker. We may hear some diverse ideas, but respect the speaker's opinions. We'd also ask that you respect the time limits in order to give everyone an opportunity to speak this evening. We'd also ask that you use headlines. In forming your comments, think about making your end point first and then expand on that if you like, but give it to us in a brief headline that summarizes your thoughts. That'll help us get more ideas in. Again, we'd like for you to provide your input only. This is not a Q&A session for the Board of Governors. And finally, we'd ask that you put your cell phones or your portable devices on a silent setting or turn them off if you would, please. In addition to the verbal comments, you may also provide input through a few other methods. You can write your comments on the pre-printed comment cards, and if you'd like, leave those on the registration table as you leave this evening. As we've already heard, there are a couple of other methods. You can email your comments to uncsearch@northcarolina.edu. You can also text your comments. The numbers are on the screen here. And we have some social media options available to you as well. And I'd like to invite my colleague, Carol McLaurin, to come up and describe those to you. Carol?
Hi, I'm Carol McLaurin, and I'm also with the SBTDC. One of the things that Joan mentioned, she said we are live streaming, and I just wanted to let you know that each of the sessions here in Asheville, Greenville, Durham, and Charlotte are all being transcribed as well and entered into the record. So if you don't have great notes written down, don't worry, everything will be recorded. We asked you to sign up out there if you had if you planned to speak. You're not held to that. We just kind of wanted to get an idea, are we going to have 50 people speaking or 10 people speaking? So if you are so moved during the session, please stand up. And again, we do need you to go to the mic because we're trying to catch you on the microphone and also the camera. And you noticed here we've got interpreters up front. That's for our live stream. And I'm going to be tracking social media along with some of our press folks. And so if we have some activity there, I'll pause periodically between speakers at the mic and I'll read some tweets. So again, we're on Twitter at #UNCSearch. You can email uncsearch@northcarolina.edu, and you can text the numbers too. And we'll pause periodically to see if there's any activity there. So with that, I guess we can get started, right? And how many folks do plan on making comments tonight? Can we see a show of hands? Well, I would like you to rush to the microphone. I'll also be sitting over there to kind of help adjust the mic if you need to. I have a feeling no one here is going to have a problem speaking into the microphone, but in case you do, we'll be there to help out. And keep your eye on Anise. She'll flag you if you go much past 3 minutes. We are just trying to be consistent across all 4 settings, and that's why we've got a timeline, even though there might only be 10 speakers. So that's it. All right, who's going to be first? 1, 2, 3.
Okay, thanks, Carol. And as you come to the mic tonight, we would ask you to begin with your name, tell us who you are, tell us where you're from, and your affiliation, if any, with the UNC system, whether you're faculty, staff, student, or a community member. And we'll begin with you.
Hello, my name is Lota Doza. I am a faculty member here at UNCA, and I'm also a representative of Faculty Assembly. And I would like to start off by starting with the request, that is to minimize the partisan politics. And we're starting off on a good note that the selection process should even make sure that it doesn't even appear that partisan politics are in it, and that ideology is not the main reason for choosing. It should be a skill set, and using the guidelines here, the number one thing I think the president needs to be able to do is work with a diverse set of constituents and understand the needs of very different groups of peoples. He should be a forceful diplomat who can work with the legislature as well as with ornery faculty members like me, and have a firm belief that academics and scholarships is of absolute value. Thank you.
Thank you. Next. Well, I know we saw more than one hand up.
My name is Tom Byers. I'm a resident of Asheville, and I'm a former member of the staff here at UNC Asheville. I'd like to address a single characteristic that I believe is desirable and a single element of philosophy that I think perhaps flows from that. During the 4+ decades that the University of North Carolina has been governed under its present structure, 4 of the 5 individuals who have served as its president have been characterized by deep and extensive roots in the state of North Carolina. And it seems to me that that has been a very valuable attribute and one that the board might wish to continue. So I'd commend that for their consideration, rootedness in the state. And as a sort of adjunct to that, I would suggest that it is desirable for the individual to address a philosophy of promotion from within, that is, providing opportunities for fellow North Carolinians to rise within our wonderful university system. You know, we're a state of 10 million people, larger than many sovereign nations. There are a lot of talented individuals among that number, a lot of them produced by our university system. And I would encourage the board to discuss that particular issue with candidates and to advance to the candidates the importance they place on that characteristic. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a next speaker.
Good evening. My name is Janet Moore. I'm a graduate of North Carolina State University, the wife of a graduate of UNC Chapel Hill, and the mother of a graduate of UNC Chapel Hill, liberal arts, Phi Beta Kappa, and gainfully employed. I also grew up in academia. My father was a professor at NC State and at Cornell University. So I know the politics that go on, particularly in public universities. I'm most concerned that we have a leader who understands the challenges of leading a multi-campus state university system. They are different than private universities. We need someone with a vision who isn't afraid to articulate it, integrity above all else, belief in academic independence and inquiry, and the importance of the faculty in the life of the university. I think we also need to have someone who appreciates the role that every campus in this 16-campus system plays as an economic engine across our state. Stephen Colbert said recently, watch out South Carolina. As long as we have a very strong university system, I don't think South Carolina has anything to fear from North Carolina. Finally, I think we need to honor and show conviction when there is political pressure put, when there is micromanagement from the legislature about courses and curriculum, faculty that are targeted. We need a strong person who isn't afraid to stand up for the people he represents. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. I invite you to come on up. And again, you may not have been able to hear Carol's comment earlier, but if you'd like to speak, feel free to line up behind the microphone. If you would, just give the person speaking a little bit of space behind them, but feel free to form lines. Yes, sir.
Thank you. My name is Wilson, and a couple weeks ago I walked across the stage of Memorial Hall at UNC, so I'm now an alumni of the university system. Largely because Dr. Leonard approved my thesis, so thanks to him as well. But, anyway, I have a few points that I think the board should consider. The first is the vital role that affordability plays in, or has played in the university system's success, and hopefully will continue to play. The legislature and the Board of Governors, due to the budget picture, have been forced to make increases in tuition, a cap on financial aid, and some other decisions that have hit many students, particularly low-income and non-resident students, pretty hard. A president needs to be someone who takes this problem seriously and is going to take affordability seriously. We may still be in the top quintile for state support for students, but we're not going to keep getting the returns we've gotten in the past from the university system if we don't keep up the very high level of investment. So I think the president's going to have to make the case to the legislature for more funds, but is also going to have to look pretty hard at the campuses, look at redundancies in management and in too much administration. We need an all-of-the-above strategy to stay affordable. We need a president who's committed to that. I also think we need someone who, I like to echo Mr. Byers' comment about the need for someone who understands North Carolina, and particularly the unique role that our universities play in educating our teachers. Many of my best high school teachers were graduates of the university system. I have to say, I understand the Board of Governors face difficult decisions. I was disappointed to see a lot of degree programs that are affiliated with teaching go, but I understand that in many ways that was an attempt to take out redundancies. The main point is the system educates our teachers, and it needs to keep doing a good job of that, because that's what prepares students for university education. Many campuses, such as UNC Pembroke, where my uncle graduated, or Elizabeth City State, play important regional needs. We need a president who understands those regional needs, which I think goes to the importance of North Carolina experience, and someone who values the aspect of service that's part of the university's mission. I'd also like to say that my university, North Carolina State, and the research and development that takes place on those campuses has been an economic powerhouse for the state. We need someone who understands that. And I'd like to echo what Dr. Dosa said about no politicization. We don't need politics at the university system. We need to move the university forward together. And I do think it would help if the board highlighted some of the ways in which its vision differed from President Ross's. I understand that was the reason for asking President Ross to step down. I would like to see some more specifics as to the difference, just so that we can keep this conversation an open one. But I thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts, and I wish you the best of luck in this decision. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Phyllis Betts, and I was on the faculty here for a number of years, then finished my career in Tennessee. It may seem evident to say that a president should be committed to the high idea of public higher education as having a unique mission, the idea of public higher education as a public good, not just for individuals. Speaking of philosophy, there is a philosophy that tuition should be allowed to rise more on par with private schools, and that state spending should be for individual scholarships to public or private schools. I think that this philosophy bears a great deal of reflection and a look at the historical role that public higher education has played. That being said, we realize there are fiscal challenges, so that someone who can be innovative in terms of stretching dollars while recognizing that unique mission, I think there needs to be a new concept between the idea of higher education as a consumer of public tax money and higher education as a business. And I think that middle concept goes back to the idea of public higher education having a unique role. I'd really like to see a new president articulate that in no uncertain terms.
Thank you. Do we have others?
Can't believe I'm actually too tall for this. I'm David Rathbone. I'm the chair of the Staff Senate for Western Carolina University, and I work in facilities as painter there. First of all, I'd like to thank Joan McNeil for heading this up, and also to assure you that I think that the Board of Governors has all my confidence, and my colleagues as well, especially with Ms. McNeil running the show here for this. So, she has our full support. Another thing is, historically speaking, the presence of the UNC system has always been backed up the Staff Senate and individual campuses and the UNC system staff assembly, and also with faculty as well. So we'd like that to be continued on. We really appreciate the past presidents, from President Tom Ross right on back there to Erskine Bowles. So we'd like to see that continue on. And we appreciate the support we've had from the Board of Governors, and I think that'd be all. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have other comments? Carol, anything on social media? Very quiet. A lot of announcements about the session, but very quiet on the comment front. David, did you have a?
Yes, sir. I think it would be very important to someone like myself or about anyone that they maybe be a native of North Carolina, so they can get a little flavor of the different areas. Perhaps they've moved around in the state and know the different parts of the state, and that we're all united. And I think that would be great too. I know we want to be open as we can and allow others to come in, but for our job, this is important, especially for the education. It'd be nice if people who grew up with us. So I appreciate that.
Thank you. Anyone else like to make a verbal comment this evening? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Juliana Gracia. I'm a member of the UNC Asheville class of 2015, and I was also a
Juliana, could I ask you to come a little closer to the microphone? Yeah, we're better. We're streaming this, and reminder to all the speakers, if you could just get close to the mic. If you can hear yourself, we can probably hear you on the live stream. So
Okay,
thanks.
well, I'll repeat myself. My name is Juliana Gracia. I'm a member of the UNC Asheville class of 2015. And I think that going forward, it's really important that we try to include students as much as possible. All of these forums are being held during the summertime, which makes it difficult for current students to attend any of the sessions. So I think that's important going forward. One of my favorite parts of the Chancellor search at UNC Asheville this past year was being able to meet the candidates and get to know them on a personal level. So I think going forward, it's important to keep in mind that students are the ones that are the most important part of this search, and that they're the whole reason why this system exists.
Thank you. Again, we'd like to hear from as many of you as would like to come forward and make a comment. We'd appreciate your input and your ideas. We've already heard some very good ones this evening. So, anyone else? Yes, sir.
I'm Dwight Mullen. I was awarded your Board of Governors Award for Teaching Excellence in 2014, and I want to thank you for that award. I've been here since 1984. I came in under William Friday, and he saw fit that he took me under his wing for a little bit and explained and lived the importance of what my former colleague said about his roots being deep in North Carolina. I think that's a very important characteristic, that he understands the state. But it's not a state as a whole, it's a state as made up of component parts. And for me, to win the Teaching Excellence Award, it was not possible without academic freedom. The president must understand the importance of your ability to develop ideas in the classroom and in the community through your service and scholarship. If that's not respected, we will not have a university. Also, my award was no less because of my students. I was able to teach a wide array of students, students who in any other setting may not have had the opportunity to sit in a university classroom. For me, teaching first college generation students and giving them the opportunity to participate in the development of the state was what kept me going for this so long. And finally, I think that affordability. Understanding the economics of the university is not the same thing as understanding the economics of a corporation. This is not a corporation. This is a university in which we pursue the excellence of ideas so that individuals like me can pass them from generation to generation without fear of retribution. Academic freedom is, again, probably for me, the most important component of understanding what a president is all about. Thank you.
Thank you. Carol?
So we do have just a couple of tweets, and these are posts and a couple replies from @Cargav. And one is, UNC requires a leader with the ability to collaborate respectfully and effectively with faculty. And another comment, a diplomat who engenders trust among faculty, students, and alums, who's honest, values, and encourages dialogue before major decisions.
Okay, some very good comments. And we've heard some very good on-point comments about the experience, the characteristics that you're looking for in the next president. Would invite you to provide additional comments. We'll be here as long as you're interested in coming forward. Carol, did you have an additional comment?
Yeah, I've just got a note. It says we're having some technical issues with the streaming. So the meeting is being archived and it'll be put on the northcarolina.edu website. And that's also the place that you can go to find out more about the progress of the search and the timeline. So that's it.
Okay, great. Thank you. Other comments? I'd invite anyone else who has would like to provide some input or your thoughts for the members of this committee to come forward. Okay.
Last chance. There must be one or two of you. Chancellor.
You can't be a chancellor and let it go without saying something. Yeah, although we've had ample opportunity for input as the statement is being delivered, and I just, I want to underscore many of the comments that have been made here this evening. As a newcomer to the system, appreciating the deep history, I think one of the things that struck me is that there's a richness in the diversity among the campuses across this great state, and that's what has made for a very strong system. So continued recognition of the unique roles we play in place in service to our communities and supporting our students to do their very best. And those are some of the things that are important to the chancellors, because we lead across the state, but we also have responsibility for the areas that we have the privilege to call home and serve. So I want to underscore what's been said, but echo that there is a piece about serving our community, which is part of the public and the work that we do every day with the support from all the folks in this room. So thank you.
Anyone want to top that? Thank you, Chancellor. Thank all of you for joining us this evening. We had some good, thoughtful ideas. You did a great job of articulating in a short time frame ideas that we can get our hands around. We'll record notes of this. We'll place them online as well. And I encourage all of you to follow the search process regularly by going online at UNC General Administration and tracking the progress of the forums and of the search process itself. Would you care to say good night, or are you happy?
Thank you all, each one that commented, and for those of you that came this evening. It's really important for us to hear what you have to say. And I'm struck by the thoughtful and important messages that you had for us. It's very important for us, so thank you very, very much. We appreciate it. It's very helpful.
Thank you. Good evening.